everybody, get out the little hug drink barrels and Neapolitan ice cream. We're having a birthday party here on the Leftover Pizza Podcast, and I mean that. I really mean that. By the time you're hearing this, Derek will have celebrated his... Which birthday is this? 29.
29. I got one left.
Not 30.
I got one left until I'm officially old. All right. So...
So yeah, we do have a birthday here. Derek will be turning 29 on the 10th of November here. So big happy birthday. Shout out to Derek.
Thank you. And I do want to make one request. If you are throwing me a birthday party, I am pro hug barrels. You can fuck off with that Neapolitan ice cream now. I do not want that at my party, okay?
I just feel like even if you're not going to eat it, it's like the cranberry sauce in a can at Thanksgiving. No one eats it. It just has to be there.
I suppose you're right. My favorite thing about Neapolitan ice cream is that old Simpsons joke where Homer says, "Hey Marge, we need more strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate ice cream." And the vanilla and chocolate are both gone, and it's just a strip of strawberry left. And he throws the strawberry in the trash. It just makes me laugh. It's like, well, why are you getting all three? Just get the other two.
Yeah, the strawberry is trash. It is. It's awful. It's not very good.
I don't know. The older I get, I guess it's not that bad. But to commemorate my day of birth, the thing that I've really been getting into this year is just thinking about all of the birthdays that I've had in the past, which is a lot at this point. It's a lot of birthdays. But I've just really been getting nostalgic for all my old parties, maybe some toys that I got when I was a kid, even just birthdays from pop culture, you know what I mean? So That's really what's getting me in the mood this year, this go around the sun. So I think that should be the theme of the show. We each pull a couple of things that we really kind of associate with birthdays in general, and I think it could be a good, fun, nostalgic little trip.
Sounds good. And since you're the birthday boy, you're going to pick who goes first.
I don't want to go first. You're going first.
Ronald McDonald and friends in...
It's a party.
The night before your birthday, some good friends stay up late to plan the perfect party.
We've got to make it great. Oh,
they make the hats, they set up games. Then there's one thing left to make. Last of all and best of all, they bake your birthday cake. And when they're done, they disappear. They hope that you won't mind, because they've left the perfect party and lots of fun behind. The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
So yeah, my first pick of the day here happens to be a memory from, I want to say 1992 or 93. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. My mom decided to throw a birthday party for my older brother at the local McDonald's. So while I don't really remember this much, I do remember it being one of the coolest fucking days of my life. Like, I don't know about you. My siblings and I, we worshipped McDonald's. Like, we fucking loved McDonald's. Anytime we passed by McDonald's, we'd be like, yeah, we need to get French fries and chicken nuggets and all that good stuff. Can we please, we would be screaming until we got our McDonald's fix.
Yeah, no, okay, for sure, 100%. It's funny because I was talking about this the other day. As much as I loved McDonald's when I was a kid, I could have given 2 fucks about the food. I did not want to go to McDonald's to eat. All right. I wanted to be there because I loved the building. I loved the play place. Later on, when they started doing it more frequently, I loved the video game kiosks.
Oh, yeah.
I knew at some point, if I could convince my grandparents to take me to McDonald's, it meant that I got to play Nintendo 64 for like a half hour. And it was guaranteed to be a game that I did not have at home. So, yeah, I was always drawn to the Golden Arches.
Yeah. So that's funny that you mentioned you weren't really a fan of the food. I didn't like the cheeseburgers and hamburgers. I was more like a McNuggets fan, and that was basically it. Like chicken nuggets, French fries, orange Hi-C. That's all I needed.
Okay, orange Hi-C, yes, absolutely. I think that was the main draw for me, aside from the toys and just the general fun atmosphere, was the orange Hi-C. Mm-hmm. You and I, we've talked about this. We still get it to this day. I think you and I both almost had a mental breakdown when they took it away from us a few years back. What were they thinking?
They weren't. So, McDonald's birthday party. Bunch of asshole kids running around. Lots of McDonald's food, of course. Fry and burger slanging for days. And I know there was like a cake. I don't really, like I said, I don't remember the specifics. I don't remember if this was provided for McDonald's. or if we brought it. I'm assuming they would have been like, get the fuck out if we brought our own cake, right? So it had to have been from them.
I don't know, because I remember, while I never personally had a birthday party there, I went to plenty, my fair share of McDonald's birthday parties, and I'm almost positive every time we went to one, somebody was bringing a cake.
Really? Okay. So
you could definitely bring your own in. I don't know if it was like an optional thing to get a cake from there.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they definitely had them that you could order, but I don't know if it was included with the package or not. I don't know what the deal was.
Right. Well, I digress. There was cake there. So
there was cake and Neapolitan ice cream.
That I'm not sure. I don't think there was Neapolitan ice cream for that one. There was definitely like cheeseburgers and fries though. So yeah, I don't, like I said, keep saying, I don't remember the specifics. I do remember some like McDonald's decor. You know, they kind of spiffied it up a little bit because of the birthday. There was balloons and shit like that. What I do remember, though, is a couple of the gifts my older brother got. I'm going to rattle off 3 of them just really quickly here. So the first one is a Sony Walkman. And, you know, a kid back in early 90s to get a Walkman, you're kind of hot shit all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
All the cool kids had Walkmans, dude. I didn't. I wasn't cool.
You're listening to your old New Kids on the Block tapes, or I guess if you really wanted to be cool, your Guns N' Roses.
No, man. So I actually, for this one here, I remember taking my brother's Walkman and listening to The Simpsons Sing the Blues tape. Had that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, dude.
Amazing.
Yep. And the Footloose soundtrack. The Footloose soundtrack. Well,
I can just picture you walking down the street listening to Kenny Loggins like, yeah, my life's a movie. I'm hot shit right now.
Dude, it really was. It really was. The Simpsons, for obvious reasons. It was one that we both had, and Footloose, because it was the only other tape I could find.
Did you steal that one from your mom's car?
I did.
Where you're like, I'm taking this, and I'm going on a walk.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that was the first gift I remember. The second one, Army Men. It was the first time I ever really remember seeing an Army Men set. Like, I always saw them in like other people's rooms and stuff, and I would just like quickly glance over them, and you know, it wasn't a turtle figure, so I didn't care that much. But he got this big, like, a boxed set of Army Men, and it had like not just the little figures, it had like little sandbag bunkers, and it had a few trucks and a couple of tanks. And this thing, I mean, it was huge. It had like rafts, a couple of boats. It just had everything in it. I think it had like a net too. This thing fucking just amazed me for some reason. It really left this like lasting impression for some reason. I know we lost them all really, really quickly, but that didn't go without me having a lot of fun for the first 4 hours of using them. So
see, that was the thing about the Army Men, is that who cares about the military? Who cares about being an Army man growing up? The whole appeal to the Army man figures was that they came with so many. It was sort of a cheat. Like, you could buy this whole pack or get this whole pack of Army men, and you get like 30 of them. Or you could get like one normal action figure. And it's like, you don't always want to go for the multi-pack, because obviously they have their drawbacks. They're not articulated. It might not be the character that you want to be playing with all the time. But if you're particularly enterprising and one day the mood strikes, it's like, well, I could get 30 toys versus one toy.
True, yeah. So then the third gift that I'm going to glance over here real quick, it was a keyboard, the Casio SA21. It was like a beginner's keyboard. I won't go into too much detail because this thing, there's a lot to say about this thing. But it had all the fucking bells and whistles. It has like a little drum pad on the one side, and you could change all the sounds and stuff. And I've been after one for years. I cannot find one. They don't ever pop up on eBay. There's a different colored version of it, but this one I had was white and blue. And I don't know, man. There was just something about it. It just was like this really, really cool keyboard. I did find a video of it on YouTube that I do watch frequently every once in a while just to get my fix. So, and it's just this dude like pumping through all the sounds.
I'm trying to get my keyboard fix.
It's good, man. I'm telling you. Like, I hear some of the sounds that this thing makes, and I'm just like instantly back there. It's so good.
It's funny that you bring up a keyboard, because I feel like that was also just a standard gift back then. Not necessarily for a birthday, but for Christmas. I don't know, anything. Every kid had one keyboard in the house somewhere. And I don't know if that was because parents wanted us to be musical or if it was just an easy gift or what the deal was. But yeah, any house that you went into, you would find at least one keyboard.
Yeah, I completely agree. We had like 3. And we got them for all different occasions. We got one for Christmas, one for a birthday. I think one even arrived from Easter.
I was going to say probably Easter. That seems like a weird Easter gift to give. You know, like what do you get on Easter? Yeah, a keyboard, probably.
Yeah, totally. Candy and a keyboard. But anyways, back to the birthdays at McDonald's. I truly remember having a blast, even though it wasn't my own birthday. I truly believe that that's the power that McDonald's had in the late 80s, early 90s. They did everything to get kids involved between the Happy Meals and the play places and the birthdays. And dude, it's fucking completely different time. It ain't anything like it seems now. Fortunately, they do still do birthday parties, and you can spend anywhere between $55 and $85 depending on what party pack you get.
Is that it?
That's it.
$85?
Yeah, totally. Like, that's not expensive at all.
I'm about to go on my birthday by myself. I have the day off. Just give them $85 and say, it's just me.
It's just me.
Do it.
Yep.
Let's go.
Blow them fucking balloons up. What are you looking at? Do it.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch
All right, so you talked about a birthday. I figured I might as well talk about a birthday as well. All right, so my mom was really big into the themed birthdays when I was a kid. All right, like I said, I didn't ever do the McDonald's for myself personally, but that's because she loved planning a party. Okay,
Yeah.
Loved it. I remember at one point, actually a couple times, she took me, we did a tailgate birthday where we literally packed the entire party up, went to the local college, and they had a football team, and my dad and her like just made hot dogs and hamburgers for everybody and just like wrapped them up like you do at an actual football game. And then we all saw a football game, and there was another birthday party where we went to the little local AA hockey team downtown, and she booked me a hockey birthday. And that one was awesome because my uncle got into a fist fight with the mascot, the guy in the costume.
So nice. So that tailgate birthday party, they didn't just buy the candy corn for it? They actually fed people?
They actually fed people, yeah. Though I'm sure, if the candy corn existed at that point, they still wouldn't have bought it because it was fucking disgusting.
Wasn't that bad.
No, it was disgusting. It was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I had a lot of themed birthday parties, and one of them that stands out in my mind was the most of its time birthday party, I think. And that would have been, I believe, in 1999, when I was turning 6. My mother threw me a Pokemon-themed birthday party.
Ooh, 3 years after they came out. So it's like peak Pokemon, basically.
I was going to say, as you might have recalled, Grimy, this was basically in the height of Pokemania. And I can guarantee you this Christmas, because I have a November birthday, so only a month later, that was the Pokemon Christmas, which I think I've mentioned here on the show before, where basically every gift I got was Pokemon.
I can't get over a Pokemon-themed birthday party. I never had themed birthday parties, really. It was always just kind of like, well, we're going to invite all your aunts and uncles over. We're going to have a fire, and you little kids are going to fucking have fun, and that's it. So a Pokemon birthday party would be pretty wild. I loved Pokemon, so it's kind of up my alley, too, I guess. I would have killed for it.
Well, see, and that's the thing, is that yes, it was a themed birthday party, but it is not the Kardashian-style themed birthday parties where of these days where they're building like an 18-foot tall Pikachu cake and they're taking pictures for like millions and millions of people. Like at that point, and I mean, if I'm being honest, through most of my life, birthday parties were never really a friend's affair. Every now and then I would, when I got a little bit older, I might have invited like 2 or 3 friends from school, but I never had those friends from school birthday parties where it was just all the kids from my class. You know what I mean? So when I say themed birthday parties, it was what you're saying. It was all of my aunts, all of my uncles, my grandparents, my cousins. Because I mean, I'm Italian, dude. I've got a huge, huge family. So it was basically like, even with just limiting it to family, there was easily 40, 50 people at all of our birthdays. Like, jam-packed.
Those are some of the best birthdays, though, too. Like, the most memorable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was just me and my cousins going buck wild, having a great time in my basement. Because it was November, a little too cold to be outside most times. So we were just wreaking havoc in my parents' basement for most of these parties. But yeah, she would go, and again, late 90s, kind of the height of Pokemon, but parties weren't ever really the way that they are now, where you can get anything and everything at the snap of a finger. So my mom would go. We had this little local place. It was a little party store. It wasn't iParty. It wasn't Party City. It was literally like a small, like, family-owned party place. And she basically bought every decoration that they had. So she would have bought like paper plates and paper cups. I think she had one of those, you know how they've got like the paper center pieces for tables?
Oh, yeah, like the little frilly thing and stuff.
Yeah, like the little accordion thing. So like, I'm sure that was sitting on the table. She probably bought like a plastic temporary tablecloth that had like Pikachu printed all over it or something. And she definitely bought balloons and the banners, because I remember specifically there being a Pokemon, you know, like pennant banner type of a thing.
So all the typical birthday supplies.
Yeah, exactly.
The perfect movie-esque birthday.
Exactly. And that's exactly what it was. It was just all of that stuff thrown together, all over the house. But the real pièce de résistance was that she had found this woman who made cakes, but they were specialty cakes. And again, these were 90s specialty cakes, not 2010 specialty cakes where fucking Buddy the Baker is over there sculpting the Michelangelo out of fucking fondant, okay? No, these were these were the Wilton sheet cake pans.
The little bastards that you just like stipple a whole bunch of little icing pieces on, basically.
Exactly. So it was a molded pan, and then she would just dot the icing to actually make the Pikachu. So and this is what blows my mind. It wasn't even the Pikachu that was in the anime that was on the cake. It was like the fat Pikachu that was on the Pokemon cards.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm talking
like
about?
Red cheeks and everything. Yeah, very nice.
Pokemon, everything. And for this particular birthday, I also remember my mom actually took me to the Warner Brothers store back when that was still a thing, and let me pick out a couple Pokemon VHS tapes that she would give to me for my birthday at that very party. So yeah, everything and anything at that birthday party, my 6th birthday, was Pokemon themed, from the cake to the decorations to my gifts. And I'm sure I even had an Ash Ketchum hat on at some point, because I definitely had one of those. So yeah.
Very nice.
Height of my 6th birthday, Pokemania.
This is where you separate the men from the boys. Easy.
There you go.
Chin. I got you now. Happy birthday! Woo! I hope you're hungry.
All right, Derek, for this next one, I want to talk a little bit about a favorite movie of mine, Uncle Buck. And it's been a hot minute since I've mentioned anything Uncle Buck, and that's a lot coming from me because it's one of my favorite films. So everyone knows the scene, the birthday breakfast scene. It's Miles, his nephew's birthday, and he's hanging out over this like makeshift fucking metal sheet that's over top of his stove, and he's got like a galvanized tub full of pancake batter next to him, and he's making these giant pancakes. It's just him like messing around in the kitchen, and he has this giant shovel to like kind of flip the pancakes over when they're done on one side. It just, oh my god, the whole scene is incredible. Then the kids come down and they see this giant fucking stack of pancakes on this table, and the whole place is decked out in like birthday ribbons and streamers and balloons, and he's popping confetti and shit. And if you haven't seen this movie, you're already underestimating how big these fucking pancakes are. I guess some chef out there came up with the amount of ingredients that it would take to make this, and it boils down to 300 grams of plain flour, 200 grams of castor sugar, 400 milliliters of milk, 9 medium free-range eggs, 100 grams of unsalted butter, and 15 grams of vegetable oil.
Wow, only 9 eggs?
I know, that
seems
part
like
kind
not
of got
enough
me.
eggs.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, I feel like there'd be a lot more eggs in there, especially if you're making, you know, whatever type of pancake you're making. Like the ones I make, for just me, I put 1 egg in, and I eat like 3 pancakes.
Yeah, I use a dozen
doesn't
eggs
add up
per pancake, if I'm being honest. I just, you know.
Right. And the butter on top, it's just like it's just like a whole block of butter. Oh, it's such a fucking mess.
It looks like a big hunk of cheddar cheese on there, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched this scene when I was a kid, this wasn't appetizing to me. I didn't really like pancakes to begin with, and just thinking about these pancakes sitting there and like stewing in their own syrup for however long, just kind of was like, oh, they're fucking like just disintegrating right now.
Oh,
you know
no.
they are.
No, that's when a pancake is at its best, is when it's totally soaked through. I don't understand how people can eat pancakes that aren't soaked through, or even waffles for that matter. Like, I don't ever want to know that this was made of flour. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want this to be borderline oatmeal.
Well, see, that's how I am now, obviously, now that I'm, you know, a grown-ass adult. But before, I don't know, there was a lot of things that, breakfast foods especially, that really turned me off as a kid, like cereal. I didn't like the idea of cereal getting soggy. It had to be crunchy and new, and I was that kid that ate cereal without milk half of the time, even though I loved milk. Like, I could drink a gallon of milk. But yeah, pancakes was one of them things that just didn't sit right with me for some reason. But I still thought that this was fucking cool, seeing ginormous pancakes sitting on the table. And the way he has the dining room set up, it's like Derek's birthday, but like 20 times the amount of the stuff that Derek's
Oh, yeah,
birthday
100%. This puts Pokemon Birthday to shame.
Oh my god, it's so good. And I just, you know, I know it's a movie and they're just making it seem like the birthday's over the top and all that, but I want to live in this scene.
Well, maybe if you give McDonald's $85, you could roll the dice and see if it makes your dreams come true, okay?
It might. You know, you might be onto something. I'm thinking, you know, I've got a couple more months until my birthdays come around again. I'll have to try the old McDonald's. But anyways, so then there's another scene. It turns out the Miles' mom orders a clown. And there's 3 other kids with Miles in the room. Buck's like, yeah, you know, the clown will be here any minute. And the kids are all kind of, you know, you can tell they're not thrilled about it. They don't think clowns are cool. And so the clown arrives, and it already kind of seems like Buck is going to kind of turn him away, tell him, you know, I didn't really order you. Here's money. Just like, get the hell out of here. I don't want my nephew's reputation to be doomed because of you being here. And
right.
Before he even gets to that, he notices that he's had a couple of drinks in him, and the clown is smashed. And they get into this altercation, and Buck doesn't punch him once, but twice, straight in the clown nose. And each time you hear this like clowny kind of horn, each time he punches him, it's pretty hysterical.
Oh yeah, it's that classic clown horn noise as soon as he punches him square in the nose.
Does this remind you anything of your uncle getting into a fight with a mascot, or bringing back some memories?
You know, just a few. It's you know, a little bit, slightly reminiscent.
To be fair, this clown, he's kind of like, I'm not afraid of clowns, but this one's actually kind of creepy.
He looks very much along the lines of like the Terrifier clown, Art the Clown. He's got that real scary, spooky vibe about him where I wouldn't want to see this guy in a dark alley.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, all around, this is one of my favorite John Candy films. Rest in peace, John Candy. If you haven't watched this one before, give it a watch. I know you've watched it before, and I say this every time I talk about a film, but watch it anyways, just to reminisce.
Boy, you take a look at all those presents?
I can't see a thing.
Yes, sir, we're next month's garage sale fodder for sure.
Any dinosaur-shaped ones?
Oh, for crying out loud, they're all in boxes, you idiot.
They're getting bigger.
Wait, there's a nice little one over there.
All right.
If I send out the troops, will you all...
All right, so I'm really, really glad that you brought up Uncle Buck, because it got me thinking about some movies and some birthday scenes, particularly in those movies. And there's always one that I go back to. I know that you always go back to Uncle Buck. The one that always sticks out in my memory, and has since I was a kid, is the original Toy Story. I'm talking about Andy's birthday party.
Oh, it's not Ghostbusters? I thought it was going to be Ghostbusters. He-Man, He-Man.
No, I'll save that for the next one, or I'll give it to you for the next one if we do a birthday show part 2. How about that?
Okay, fair. So Toy Story.
So Toy Story is a movie that I've been watching literally since it came out, and I was at the perfect age when that movie came out, because I think I was literally 3 years old. So that just spoke to me in childhood like nothing else could, because I was like, wow, toys. What if the toys came to life? What if they're like good? You know what I mean? So it was just perfect. It was the perfect movie.
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I agree. And I was probably 7 or 8 when this movie came out. It's fair to say that it reached the vast majority of children at that time. This movie, it was just something completely different, completely new, and it just felt like a breath of fresh air, if I will say so myself. It's such a good film, and it's easily one to go back to.
Oh, absolutely. I revisit it all the time. Not so much the later ones, but definitely the first 2 are just in my constant rotation. For sure. They're excellent. But this is a birthday show. So why am I talking about Toy Story? Well, I mentioned Andy's birthday. So I'm a very impressionable child, 3 years old. I see this birthday that they're throwing Andy, and it's just always stuck in my mind. There is something about the way that the toys are looking down outside of the house when all the kids are showing up, and they're looking at the packages that they're bringing in. I was always so jealous of the gifts that they're bringing Andy, just based on the wrapping paper alone. Like, these are the most beautifully wrapped gifts that at that point I had ever seen. Of course, it's just a computer program, so they're just doing squares and cubes perfectly. That's why they look so perfect. They're just throwing a texture on top of a cube.
Oh, yeah. And I want to go a step further and say, not just jealous of Andy's presents that he's getting, but the whole premise of his room and his toy collection in general. I mean, this kid has it all. He's got so many different iconic toys, and this is like the first scene after the opening credits, basically. So, like, what a way to start the film off to begin with. It really sets the tone for the rest of the movie.
Absolutely. I just want to say, Andy's mom, kicking ass. Single mom, I assume. Just affording this house, 2 kids on her own, and then he just has, like, the most stacked toy shelves I've ever seen. Like, up to that point. Yeah. Are you kidding me? This mom, congrats, Andy's mom. You're just doing it.
Yeah, and she sounds kind of hot, too.
Yeah, What do they call him these days? Girl boss? I think she's a girl boss.
A girl boss. You're probably right, yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, throughout the beginning of this movie, we see the presents get brought in, obviously, and then we get little tiny glimpses of the party as it's actually happening. And again, they're very similar to the parties that I had growing up. It wasn't overly decorated. There's a couple ribbons and balloons here and there, but there was just something about his birthday party where I wanted to attend it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I didn't need it to be my birthday party because they were so similar to my birthday parties. But I think I mentioned I didn't really have friends over. I would just have my cousins, right? And that's all that Andy's birthday party was a friend birthday. He just had like 20 kids running around that house just destroying things. And that was just so appealing to me. I was like, oh man, I want to be in there with those guys.
Yeah, he had that one kid, Benji, over who Ham doesn't care for at all. Or no, Potato Head doesn't care for him. There's that one part where he's like, Benji, who invited that kid?
Yeah, I love that. I love that the toys sometimes have beef with just random things like a kid, down the street. Poor Benji. Mm-hmm. And just one more quick thing to note, not super birthday related here, but the opening of this movie, I'm taking the opportunity here because who knows when I'm ever going to get to talk about this again, but Andy is playing with Woody and he leaps into the reclining chair and starts spinning around with Woody in the reclining chair, and then puts Woody in front of the reclining portion, and then pulls the recliner and then shoots
Catapults
Woody.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just me, or did you try to do that for a long time too? Because I spent a good portion of my childhood trying to do that.
So I never had like a lazy boy when I was a kid. Didn't have any of those ones that kicked out. As much as I wanted to try this, I did not have the opportunity unless I was over at my grandmother's house. And while I was there, I was heavily watched. So no, I did not get a chance to attempt that.
So, all right, I'm glad that you brought that up because I also did not have one of those in my house, but my grandparents did have that. And I had a set that definitely would have done what your grandparents did and watched you like a hawk. But my other set, they didn't give a shit.
They're like, here's some scissors, just run around.
Yeah, well, literally. But no, I had my very own Woody doll, and whenever I would go to their house, I would put Woody in front of the recliner and try to catapult him across the room. And I am sad to report back that it never worked.
Doesn't work, huh?
A little movie magic was used there. But yeah, Andy's birthday party from Toy Story. I want to live in there.
Hey, girls. Knock, 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 knock. Dad alert. Wee, wee, wee. Sorry to interrupt the sleepover. I just wanted to talk to you girls. I don't want to single anyone out or embarrass anybody, but something happened upstairs.
The pizza came?
No. It's a little different. It's
We're going to head back to 2001. This is be my 12th birthday party. It's just a memory that I have. So I had a bunch of kids over, one of my cousins, and probably like 6 of my neighborhood friends. It wasn't really a planned birthday party as much as it was just like a hangout fest with kids after the birthday party already happened. So like we had cake and ice cream and all that stuff. My family members, they all came the previous day. This was a day for me and the boys to do hood rat shit. So
I was gonna say, at 12, you're right on that cusp of being little shitheads, little edgelords.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were. So I remember the whole morning thinking, the fucking boys are coming, so I have to like provide. And I had like a paper out or whatever at that point in time, and I had, I think, maybe a little over or under $30, and I spent all of it on like 25-cent candies, drinks, chips, dip, and like little Deb snack cakes and a thing of beef jerky. Just a bunch of fucking garbage to feed all my friends. And I'm sure like if I would have asked my mom or whatever for money, she would have gave it to me, but I was like, fuck it, I'm grown-ass man, I'm 12 years old, I have a paper out.
I'm providing for my
That's
friends
right.
here,
The
okay?
homies are coming over, and we're gonna fucking party, so to the store I went with $30 well spent, and I'm pretty sure we ate all of it before the actual sleepover portion happened, like well before 5 o'clock, it was all gone. Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 teenagers all hopped up on like junk food, being idiots in my bedroom. Some things that we did at the sleepover. Now this was, 2001, right when like how caller ID and stuff was like just happening, I feel like. So we were prank calling all kinds of people that we knew and some that we didn't. And it didn't amount to anything. It was like one of my buddies was like, "Hello, is Jasper there?" And then just like, "Fuck you." You know what I mean? Just a quick, no, like nothing quippy or anything, nothing carefully thought out, just a bunch of kids being idiots. I remember eventually getting hungry again, so we had to like walk down to the store again, and I think we grabbed like pizza rolls or whatever and like a few sodas.
Yes.
The good sleepover stuff.
I am just gonna profess my love for Totino's pizza rolls right now.
Oh, dude, Totino's pizza rolls are so good, and I still
even
buy
to
them.
this day.
Yeah.
I don't understand adults who are like, "Ew, pizza rolls." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This is one of the great delicacies in life. Come on,
it is, and they haven't like changed at all. I feel like they might have maybe gotten a little bit smaller, and they might not fill them as much, but like the essence is still there. They haven't changed much at all.
Yeah, recipe is the same. So you are essentially eating the same thing. It's not like everything else in our lives that they've tried to make marginally more healthy by removing this or like adding that or sneaking in vegetables. It's like, no, we make disgusting meat pockets and you're gonna like it. And I'm like, yeah, you are right. I am gonna like it.
Still equally as bad for you to consume, but we do it anyways. So those were included. I'm sure we probably got like a Snapple or like a soda with a cyber lizard on it or something. Like cyber lizard. And one thing I do remember for sure was there, I don't know if you ever heard of it. They still make it today, but it's a little bit different packaging. Mystic drinks. Do you remember Mystic?
Mystic drinks.
I don't think I sent this picture to you. Hold on a second. I'll send you the photo I have. All right. When you get this image, tell me what you're looking at, what it looks like to you.
Well, it sort of looks like a condiment bottle. It's a little bit pointy. It's like a normal bottle at the bottom, but it sort of comes up and it's pointy, and then it gets kind of cut off. Like, think of a Coke bottle, but if they cut the top third of the Coke bottle off before they finish the nozzle. So, doesn't it kind of resemble, and I'm assuming that's why they changed the design, doesn't it kind of look like an alcoholic drink, like a wine cooler or something? It definitely does. Okay, I'm so glad that you said that, because there was something about it and I just couldn't put my finger on it. But yeah, no, it totally looks like a wine cooler or something.
Right. So I don't know if it was just my group of friends that were idiots like this or not. They take like a sip of an energy drink and all of a sudden they were bouncing off the walls and really acting up on it, like it was doing things to them. Well, I remember buying a few of these and we all acted like we were drunk. Like we got a couple sips in us, we were real cringy little 12-year-old kids, and like we went to the park and we were running into like the slide and just really acting a fool, and like I don't know what we weren't thinking, evidently. We were just being idiots.
Oh, you don't at 12. You don't think. You barely think at 20, you know?
Right. So those were a couple of things we did. After we loaded up and we ended up going back to my house, I remember watching Titanic a couple of times, and it wasn't just to watch the movie, it was to rewind and fast forward to the part, where there's just rose tits just hanging out. It might have like been the first time one or two kids saw tits before, and I'm sorry to the parents. And then we ended up playing some baseball for the Nintendo. It's 2001. It's well over the Nintendo, but like I still had one. Everyone still remembered how to play it. We all played, and basically the rest of the night was us just being noisy. And it was probably 2:00 in the morning. My mom came up at least 3 or 4 times within the hour. It's like, all right, you little fuckers, like you guys gotta go to bed now. And like we just never did. We'd get quieter, and then it would get louder again, and she'd be back up, and that happened at least 3 or 4 times until it was finally like most of us were half out of it. And I just feel like there's something to say about sleepovers at birthday parties of the past. I don't know what it would be like now. I don't know if it's just like a bunch of kids doing the same shit or if they're just all sitting on the couches on their phone, but there was something about that. It was just a better time, and I'm glad that we were able to mention it now, because there's not too often a time where I can just spew about these things.
Yeah, the good old days when you could bully in person versus cyberbullying,
Totally.
When my mom asked me where to go for my birthday, I said Chuck E. Cheese's. Where everyone could go play games. Or watch a show. A show? Some place where the food and fun are all there.
Hang in there, Howie. You can smile America with Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, Grammy, I've got a question for you.
What's that?
What are your feelings on rats?
Rats? Well, I mean, Splinter's kind of a rat, so he's cool, I guess. I don't necessarily like them at my house. Wait, where are you going with this?
Okay, so what you don't like rats, but what if I told you that a rat was going to provide you video games and subpar pizza and prizes?
Does this pizza happen to look like it was all put back together from other different slices of pizza?
That's been unproven. That's not proven.
1,000 angry comments. That never happened. It's just a theory. So yes, you're mentioning what, Chuck E. Cheese? Is this where you're going with it?
Yeah, that's right. Charles E. Cheese himself.
Charlie.
Or as I used No, I'm being 100% serious here. I used to call him Chucky the Rat. I was petrified of this guy. Petrified of Chucky the Rat.
Mainly look at him. He's fucking scary.
Yeah, he's totally scary. I mean, the new iteration,
Much
is
friendlier.
really lame.
Yeah.
He's really lame.
Yeah.
Like, I will say there was a lot of character to the old
Right.
Chuck E. Cheese, but he was scary. Like, if you're there and you're at Chuck E. Cheese and you're seeing that little animatronic fucker singing some song to you with his dead eyes staring right into your soul, there's not a kid in that little birthday room that isn't shitting their pants a little bit, just worried that he's gonna come to life and eat you or something.
It's like Silence of the Lambs, so that she still hears the lambs at night. Dude, I still see the fucking Chuck E. Cheese eyes in my sleep. Always see them. And I've never even been there. I've only seen pictures.
So yes, I'm glad that you brought that up. So my next pick here is the Chuck E. Cheese birthday, which throughout the 90s seemed like the most American thing that you could possibly do for a birthday, all right?
When I think about 90s birthday parties, I want to say it goes above McDonald's, like by a lot too, not just like a hair, by a ton, because this is like the quintessential 90s American kid birthday party is a fucking Chuck E. Cheese birthday party.
100%. And so you did mention, so you've never actually been to a Chuck E. Cheese. You never had the opportunity.
Nope, not once. I've stepped foot around a Chuck E. Cheese in a parking lot. Yeah, I think the parking lot was also home to like a Target or like it might have been a Toys R Us or something. I can't remember what store it was, but yeah, never been there. Never been in there. I don't even know where there's one around here anymore.
Well, that was going to be my question. So was it for a lack of Chuck E. Cheese locations near you, or?
So, two reasons. That's one. The other one is because my parents hated me. They wished I was dead. So
that's it. I'm sure. Yeah. No, 100%. That's
the same
valid.
thing, right? Like,
yeah. Quick sidebar. Have you ever considered unpacking that in therapy?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to open that door.
No, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't tell me that it was my parents' fault and that I internalized something.
Yeah.
I think it was my parents' fault.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was my parents' fault, but it was my parents' fault.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, on the opposite hand, apparently my parents loved me so fucking much that that's all I did, it seemed, was go to fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So I believe I only ever had one birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. Maybe two. But
okay.
My very first birthday, I know that for certain, was at a Chuck E. Cheese. So I was literally like a year old at a Chuck E. Cheese, and I don't really have any memories of it. I think that there's some home video of it somewhere, but most of my childhood experiences at a Chuck E. Cheese birthday were for the other people in my life. For my cousins, for friends from school. It just seemed like the place to be when a birthday was happening. So let me break it down for you a little bit, because you didn't ever really get to have the experience. So first and foremost, you'd walk in and you had to be with a parent. You couldn't just walk in by yourself. They would stamp your hand with some UV reactive ink, and it would have, I think, the time that you walked in and maybe the date, but you and your parents both had to get stamped. And I think that was their way of making sure that, like, you are leaving with who you're supposed to be leaving with. You know what I mean? No kidnapping going on in their watch. Okay,
that's smart.
My particular Chuck E. Cheese over to the right, that's where they had some of the standard booths, and then just a bunch of arcade games.
Okay.
Mostly for the bigger kids. That's where like the normal arcade games were. Okay. If you go off to the left-hand side, that's where all of like the younger kids stuff was. So they had a ball pit. Yeah.
So they have all kinds of different sections for like different age groups, basically, or whatever your parents would allow you to do.
Exactly. They really kind of thought it out, because they're like, well, we can't have the little babies mixing and mingling with like the 12-year-olds. It's just not going to work.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right? So off to that side, there was all the really, like the toddler kind of based games, or where they were easier to play. You didn't have to worry about a learning curve. Then there was a giant ball pit. And in addition to the ball pit, like McDonald's, they had those tubes on the ceiling, the little hamster tubes. Tube City, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And I don't know about you, but I was always petrified of those. I hated it.
Yeah. We didn't have a lot of play places around here. I think I got to one when I was way too old, but I still played around in it. We'll save that for another day.
He's 17, slinking through a tube.
I was like
Hey!
at least 14. I know it. I know I
my
was.
God.
I was just like, wow, this feels dirty.
I don't know. It was the combination of claustrophobia and the fear of heights working together in tandem that just absolutely was unappealing to me. But all of the adults in my life thought that that's what kids love to do. So that I would always get forced into them for some reason. They're like, go in the tubes. It's a good time.
And you're just like, no.
I'm like, I hate this.
Holy fuck.
So yeah, that was the left-hand side. And sort of like right in front of us, they had this sectioned off part that was reserved for birthday parties. And there's a lot of long tables over there. So that's where you would get the balloons set up and all the pizzas brought out and you do all your gift opening. But in that same room, like I mentioned earlier, that's where they had that fucking animatronic band that would sit there with those dead eyes and sing you weird covers to songs that you've never heard before. Maybe a couple of originals.
Staring into your soul while they do it. They're just fucking, nightmare fuel.
It's fun because I think back now and I'm like, man, those were good times. And I must have at that time, it must have affected the birthday atmosphere because it's like having to be in that room with those animatronics tainted the gift opening a little bit. You know, it tainted the cake cutting a little bit. It's like, well, I can't enjoy this cake if I'm staring at these horrifying animatronics.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe that's why I don't like the Neapolitan ice cream. Maybe I have some trauma response to the strawberry and these Five Nights at Freddy looking fucks who are singing to me. You know,
Charlie ruined it for you. Charlie, I can't believe you, Charlie.
Jolly cheese. And then, of course, Charles himself would make an appearance in his outfit, decked to the nines, and you had the opportunity to take some pictures if you so wanted to. But yeah, I mean, I went to a ton of Chuck E. Cheese birthdays as a kid. And really, they were great birthdays from the perspective that you just got a bunch of tokens and you got to go hog wild with kids that you love to hang out with. It's like, what's better than hanging out in an arcade, winning prizes? It's like the only birthday party you got to go to where you walked away with a present too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, sure. And on the top of that, I feel like, I guess I'm not a parent, obviously, but speaking from a parent's perspective, it's these type of birthdays, like the McDonald's and the Chuck E. Cheese birthdays, it kind of lessens the stress for a parent, I guess. So they're not fucking around with you most of the time and telling you to shut up and stop doing things. And like you can be a kid at these places and fuck off the most of the time. And no one's like telling you no. So that's just more fun.
Don't have to worry about the kid breaking the china cabinet and all of your fine china, you know, your wedding china.
After this, Chuck E. Cheese, this is your problem.
Yeah, if they cause structural damage, it's not going on my insurance claim.
I didn't pay with a credit card, so get fucked.
Surprise! Oh, what a surprise! Open your present! Yeah, it's Raph the Magnificent! Hey, the rabbit pops up! Here's another one! Yeah, open mine! No, mine! It's Crazy Clown and Mike! Wow, extend the legs! Open this one, dude, come on! Oh, it's Party Reptile Leo! What does he do? Yeah! Bodacious birthday turtles, just what I've always wanted! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
So my last pick comes from 1992, and it is a series of 3 figures from the Playmates Ninja Turtles Bodacious Birthday Turtles line. Oh, that's a mouthful.
Hey, who could have guessed? Who would have figured?
Listen, I do try my best to steer away from these guys as much as possible, but it's the only thing I know. So anyways, yes, this was a series of 3 figures, and it included Raph the Magnificent, Crazy Clown and Mike, and Classic Party Reptile Leo. My mom had to run into Walmart, and we weren't allowed to go in because us kids were kind of dickheads. So we all sat outside, and this was around 1992, 1993, when people were, able to leave their kids in their cars and they wouldn't get the cops called on them and stuff like that. And this was one of those nights. So she goes into Walmart and she comes back out. She has this blue plastic toy chest, and it looks like a fucking treasure chest. And I remember having this toy chest for a very long time. Like, I think the first time I moved out of my house, that was when it was gotten rid of. So I've kept it for a long time. Yeah, a long time. Well, it's like Tupperware. You don't really throw Tupperware out. You know what I mean?
Get rid of it.
Especially my mom she's got a fucking eagle's claw grasp on these Tupperwares, dude.
They're all cracked. They don't work. They don't hold anything. I keep telling her, Mom, you got to get rid of it. She says no.
Yeah. So she comes out with this plastic toy box and opens it up, and she got a betta fish from Walmart. So it's like sitting there in its little plastic bag and water, and I'm just like, oh, cool, a fucking fish. Like, I was already stoked. And like, my siblings are in there. They're all happy. They're like, fuck yeah, fish. We're all jumping up and down in the car and all excited about the fish. And for me, out of nowhere, I don't even know why. I have no idea why. She handed me this Walmart bag, and it had 2 figures in it. It just happened to be Crazy Clownin' Mike and Classic Party Reptile Leo. So you can imagine how fucking excited I was after that. Probably didn't shut up the whole ride home. I still don't really know what I deserve to get these, but I'm not complaining. So, Playmates, they did a fuck ton of turtle toys. They still do them now. And this is kind of one of their oddball lines. They could get away with doing any turtle figure at that point in time, and like the height of turtle mania, if you will. Like, they could do anything. And this is one of those ones that kind of was like weird, didn't really fit. But they did it anyways. 3 figures. I don't really know why Donnie got the axe, but if you watch the commercial, you'll see, there's 4 turtles. It's Raph's birthday party. The other 3 are giving him turtle figures for his birthday party. So naturally, one of them had to bite the dust, apparently.
Right.
So I have all 3 of them still. The 2 that I got originally, I have them out of box here. And then I eventually pick up the 3rd one, the Raph figure. I have them here. So here's Raph. No one else can see them but you.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Aren't you all missing out? Yes, you are.
Yeah. So he's got this little rabbit that pops up out of his hat. Doesn't quite work the way you want it to. It's kind of dumb. So he's definitely like the lesser of the 3, but still cool, I would say. Like, he's fine.
I still like that gimmick. I think that's a cool gimmick with the rabbit in the hat. It's classic, and maybe it could work a little bit better, but it is pretty cool.
Right. So then I have Mikey here, Crazy Clownin' Mike. He's got his little stilt legs. You just pull them out, and he's got these like pink peg legs that kind of make him a little taller. One of his legs is kind of wobbly. It doesn't work too well anymore, but yeah.
It's all right. He looks like he's got some chicken legs there. It's a little...
Yeah, totally.
A little funny.
Then this one here is my favorite. Leo is definitely... He's got like these pastel colors. He's like kind of shiny. You can't really see him here in my lighting, but you kind of see it like the light shines off of the belt a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah.
He's holding this little pizza. It's just kind of in his hand. It doesn't go anywhere. He's got his little cone hat on. And he has, in the back of him, he has this retractable little whistle. And mine's all bit up. I chewed the fuck out of it when I was a kid. I was always biting on this thing. But yeah, still works. He's got the little whistle action there. Yeah.
He looks like a little pissed off, though. He looks like he's taking a dump.
Dude, yeah.
A little constipated.
They all kind of have this, like, angry look to them. But especially Leo. Like, Leo looks fucking irate. He's like, this ain't my fucking birthday party. Why do I care?
You know what it looks like? It looks like Donnie was intentionally not invited to this party, and Leo just caught a glimpse of him walking into the room. Like, why is this fucking guy walking into my party?
Either that, or like, he was mad that he had to show up and Donnie didn't have to. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm assuming it was Leo's party.
Yeah. No, it's Raph's party. Oh, like
but
the
is
figures
it Raph
themselves?
the magician? Yeah.
Right, yeah. That doesn't make any sense, I guess, because like in the commercial, it's Raph's party. But if you look at Leo definitely looks like he's the birthday boy here.
He definitely does. See, all right, we're uncovering things 30 years later about this Turtles line. Makes no sense.
Strange.
The continuity is all screwed up. It's all jacked up.
Yeah, it is very weird.
I'm going to sue Playmates.
So later on, actually last Christmas, What? Did you say you're gonna sue?
Keep talking.
Sue
yeah,
Playmates?
I'm gonna sue Playmates.
Sue them? Yeah, fuck Playmates. They make horrible figures now. Oh, I don't know. I'll give it to them. They did make a pretty cool Last Ronin figure that just came out. It's pretty sweet, and it's in the same style as their old figures, so I'll commend them for that, but they do an awful lot of using the same sculpts over and over again, the new shitty sculpts that no one cares about, and repackaging and repurposing, and it's just like, give it up. Give us some...
Playmates.
Give us
Why
some
don't
good
you send us some free
continuations.
shit so we can evaluate you more fairly? You know?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Prove me wrong.
So, Clown and Mike, Crazy Clown and Mike, one of my buddies actually just got him for me for Christmas last year. It's still in the packaging, and the packaging itself. So all of our listeners obviously aren't going to see this, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it either. So the packaging kind of looks like a card.
It does. It looks like a birthday card.
Yeah, totally. And there's like a spot up here where you can put from and to on it. It says like, happy birthday, dude, from Mike and whoever else. It's pretty cool.
Love that.
There's something.
You're going to have to take a picture of that and post it up so all of the listeners can take a gander over on the Instagram.
Oh, definitely. Definitely do that for our listeners. Oh, that's really cool when you boil it down. Even better is this commercial that came with it. Now, most of the toys, they got their own commercial, yada, yada, but like... some of them didn't, and I can't believe that this line did, since it was such a small line. It's like, they wouldn't have to push these. There's only 3 of them. It's not like a whole fucking series, you know what I mean? But the commercial's pretty wild. There's like a live action Raphael, and you don't see the other turtles, but you know they're there. They have all of their original cartoon voices, like the actors are all there doing the voices for them. When I watch this, it's almost, I dare say, better than like some of the other like random live action stuff turtles were into, like the Coming Out of Our Shells tour, the awful Christmas special, like where the mouths don't even move. This one looks pretty legit.
Yeah, the mouths were so articulated that they got them to actually blow out candles, which is super impressive for a 30-second commercial.
Yeah. Oh, and did you notice there's only 5 candles on this pizza? It's not a birthday cake, it's a pizza. There's only 5 candles on it. What the fuck's up with that?
Maybe, like animal years, like how dogs are 7 years to our 1 year. Maybe they're actually like 60.
he's 5 in turtle years.
Yeah, maybe it's his, 60th birthday.
Maybe it is.
They come out at night. They strike without warning. But now, it's your turn to get even.
Grab his arms! I got mine!
Electronic stretch screamers. They scream when you stretch them and come back for more. And when you squeeze their heads. Electronic stretch screamers. Scream when you stretch them. Each sold separately.
All right, before we wind down this show, Grimy, I figured it would be fun for our last segment here to talk about some of our favorite birthday gifts that we remember getting.
Great idea. Great idea.
There are so many in the honorable mentions category because I don't know about you, that was the thing back then. I mean, it's obviously still the thing now, but I feel like toys were maybe a little bit cheaper and like everybody bought you toys, if not a couple toys per birthday.
True, and kids actually wanted them. Like now, no one wants fucking toys. You kidding me? You bring a kid's toy into a kid's birthday party and they're like, no iPad, no PS5? The fuck's wrong with you, Aunt Linda? Get out of here. Nobody
It's
wants
so
this
true,
shit.
and I can't even like blame kids these days because if an iPad existed when I was their age, I would pick the iPad 10 times over. Of course I'm picking an iPad.
I mean, I know that's like the common argument now with like us and them, and I do find it difficult to figure out exactly how I would have been as a kid had this stuff existed, but like, I don't know, man. I look at like my shelves here and I'm just like, this stuff still catches my eyes more than like this stuff.
Yeah, not to be, old men over here, because I do have younger cousins, and they do still play with toys. It's just a healthy mix between actual toys and phones and iPads. And like I said, can't blame them.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fun, especially when they manage to combine iPads and toys into some weird, fun AR experience. Like, yeah, I get it. That would have been a dream for you and I.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about toys nowadays. They're not like our toys used to be, so I think that's
they're
like the big thing.
so much better.
Yeah.
When they're good, they're good.
Yeah, yep, agreed. So, what were some of your favorite toys that you got when you were having a birthday?
Well, I was doing a lot of digging, and I think where I landed was my favorites off the top of my head being the Stretch Screamers from the Stretch Screamers line that came out in the early 2000s. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you have any recollection of these? Or
So I never had any Stretch Screamers. I think the only Stretch Screamer item I had was in whatever restaurant had them for a toy. I think it was it Wendy's?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
No,
had them.
McDonald's. It was,
no
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm looking here, and I guess McDonald's got their own version of them in 2003. But I guess they might have also had one additional line, maybe the following year, 2004, maybe even 2005. But yeah, so they were popular enough that they got their own McDonald's version of the toy.
Yeah. And the McDonald's ones are fine. The real deal, way better.
Oh, yeah. So again, this was one of these birthdays where my mom was probably sort of at a loss and kind of just took me to Toys R Us and was like, okay, what are we getting? What do you want for your birthday? You know what I mean? Because sometimes that happened where it was like I didn't have a list or my interests were changing so rapidly that I think she just was like, I can't keep up with this kid. Let's just let him figure it out on his own, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I remember going to Toys R Us with her after school one day, and she let me pick out a couple of them. So I ended up coming home with the werewolf Stretch Screamer, and they called him the Ghoul. But for all intents and purposes, it was just Ghostface from Scream.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at him right now, and he's kind of got some things going on with him. He's got a very similar Ghostface mask on, but he's draped in what looks like mummy cloth.
Yeah, and that's that's like the weirdest part about it. But there's also, if you notice on his legs in the picture I sent you, he's got buckles. So it's like,
he does.
Is he a mummy, or is he got, the early 2000s new metal thing going on? Like, is he wearing some Hot Topic
He's got the
clothing?
Trip NYC jeans on. Yeah. He's got all the suspenders and shit. And oh, yeah, I could see it now.
So the fun thing about the Stretch Screamers is that they were what I'm calling a half and half figure. They were like at least a foot tall, if not maybe even a little bit bigger than that. They were big.
Yeah, they're big.
The bottom half was a standard non-movable action figure base, right? So their legs and their hands were molded plastic.
Yep.
Yeah, so the top half was basically a Stretch Armstrong, and it was just squishy, and it felt sort of like a stress ball at times. And you could really stretch them and do whatever you wanted with the top half.
Mm-hmm.
But the real interesting thing about these figures is that the heads still molded to the rest of the upper top half, torso. You could squeeze the heads, and in this particular one, the Ghoul, the mouth is an open hole. And when you squeezed it, this like ball would pop out of it. Oh. And it was filled with like a glittery looking fluid. It sounds really gross describing it that way, but think of the little squishy toys that you would get from
from like SeaWorld and stuff on your class trip.
Yeah,
totally.
from like a gift shop. So again, adults all thought that they were really lame back then. The little SeaWorld toys, the gift, the gift shop toys, they didn't want to buy it for us. But when it was put in an actual like big ass figure like this, it was more acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
So my mom had no problem buying these because it was basically just a big old action figure that also did the cheap toy thing that you would get from like a gift shop, which was awesome.
Sure, yeah.
And true to their Screamer name in the title, they did scream. So you could turn it on, and when you slapped it around, it would scream as you hit it, and it would just make a lot of noise. I don't know. It hit at the right time when I was starting to get sort of interested in scary things and monsters, and they were just kiddie enough that like this scratched that itch, but it kind of led me down the path where I am today, where I just love horror movies. So got to throw it to Stretch Screamers. I loved these things.
I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want Hot Topic fucking Scream Face or Ghost Face, whatever you want to call it?
Ghoul Man.
Ghoul Man. Oh, man, so good. This is like When did you say these things came out?
Early 2000s.
Early
the
2000s?
McDonald's line was 2003, so I want to say I picked one up either about 2002 or 2003.
So this is like the equivalent of an early 2000s Sharp Hand Joe.
Yes, exactly. This is totally Sharp Hand Joe energy. 100%.
So good.
So that was my choice. What about you? What was one of your favorite birthday presents?
Okay, so I dug a little deeper, and I'm just going to gloss over these really, really quick. I didn't want to just tell you all about all the turtle figures I have on my walls, because that's really where it would have gone if I wouldn't have thought this through. So one, I don't know if you guys remember that little story I told you in our Christmas episode last year where my one uncle got me a karate lesson for free for my gift. So
yeah.
So that same uncle kind of redeemed himself. He got me this. It's a Nerf gun, and I'm seeing that they might have been produced by someone else that wasn't Nerf, but under the same name as Nerf. It looks like it says Aviva. Aviva Sports is what it says here. But if you type in Nerf, like this thing pops up. So I'm assuming it's from Mattel, and they're, same thing. So this thing is the Ultimator. It's a foam missile launcher. And this thing, it's humongous. It's like a bazooka. It comes with 2 of these giant fucking missiles. It had like the tip is orange, the back, it's black, and it's just like a small one, but about 50 times the size. And it has these really sweet looking yellow wings. It's kind of got the old composite notebook kind of print on it, but in yellow and purple, which looks amazing. He got me this. My parents were not thrilled about it. Receiving this for like probably my 7th or 8th birthday party. And we were shooting it out in his backyard. And this thing, it like went over top of his fucking house. It was so powerful. Yeah. I don't know much about these things now, and I borderline forgot that it existed. I'm sure it was something that hit the shelves and quickly disappeared because people were pissed off about them. Like, it's one of them, the powerful Super Soaker bit where, like, they're just too much, parents were mad, or it was causing too much harm or something. Like, I remember getting this thing taken away from me very quickly.
I feel like Tim the Tool Man made this thing. They're like, okay,
more
so how
power.
about this? Yeah, more power. Yeah, you know what this sort of reminds me of, just quickly, is it's got a similar form factor almost to the Nintendo Super Scope.
Yes, it does look very Nintendo Super Scope-esque for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, I actually never put that together, but it's very
different colors, but
different colors, but same
it's
shape.
It's got the same idea to it, I feel like.
Yeah, the double handle and wow. Yeah, now that you're saying that, totally.
Yeah, this thing's badass.
I'm going to assume they drew inspiration, one or the other did, for the other. Like,
oh yeah, longest shot up to 70 feet. Big blast and sound and awesome accuracy. I love how they're describing this on the package. It's ugh. And one last bit here about the package. The logo for the Ultimator. Did you notice what they're doing with the O? They're kind of doing a Predator thing.
The Predator thing? Yeah, totally. They got the
with the scoped out
scope.
O.
Yeah. Huh.
This is badass. I could totally see being obsessed with this as a kid.
It's in the same exact font as Predator.
I think you're right. Wow. I wonder if this was supposed to be sort of a Predator tie-in, and they're like, no, that's not for kids.
Wow. I never put 2 and 2 together. It's totally ripping off Predator.
Right?
Exact same, like, giant font. It's like that squared off military font. And then on the O, it has the fucking scope. Wow. You just uncovered some shit there, bud.
Wonder if this ties into Predator 2 with Gary Busey. Is this a Gary Busey gun?
Gary Busey and his fucked up face. Oh my god. So good.
Not so true fact of the day. The Ultimator was designed for kids who love Predator.
And Gary Busey.
And Gary Busey. For kids who love Gary Busey.
Oh shit. So yeah, that was one thing I remember. The other thing, non-turtle related, that I also really, really enjoyed for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Now, I didn't know anything about X-Men back in the day, and I still really don't. I don't know. I'm not a huge X-Men enthusiast, I guess. I like the stuff, but I'm not, like, constantly looking it up. This figure, one of my aunts got it for me for, I want to say, my 6th birthday party at my house. It was an X-Men 2099 figure. And this guy is Metalhead. He's this, like, giant Hulk-looking dude. He's got like the ripped up pants, no shirt on top, and he's like half bronze, half silver. He looks fucking like amazing, really. He's just a chunky ass figure. Chunky figures back in the day, they just felt cooler than having like this little skinny Spider-Man figure or the your typical Bendham figure or whatever, these little skinny pipsqueaks. And this thing's like giant. He's huge.
Oh, he's chunky. He's a chunky, thick boy.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I didn't really know much about X-Men, but I still really enjoyed playing with him a lot. He instantly joined the Turtles' Nemesis team, and I don't know, he was a lot of fun. And that was part of the joys of being given a random toy back in the day. It might be a hit, might be a miss, but when it hit, it was, a big hit.
A hit. All right, here's my last thing I'll mention for this show, because it just jogged my memory when you said hit. Hit clips.
Hit clips. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, you will pay $20 for 5 seconds of one song.
Well, that's where I'm going with this. I was with my uncle picking out my toys for my birthday. I'm realizing throughout this episode, I guess that was a big theme in my life. My family taking me places, saying, pick it out. I picked up hit clips. Specifically, NSYNC hit clips.
I was just going to say, it had to have been NSYNC, you fucker.
I fucking loved NSYNC. And okay, here's the deal. Like you just said, $20 for 5 seconds of a song. My uncle looked at the price, and then he looked 2 inches to the right and saw the full album
the CD?
Of No Strings Attached. And he says, I am not buying you hit clips. I will buy you the full album. And I was like, you don't get it. The clips are what make this hip, okay?
Yeah.
I need it on a clip. Then he said, too bad, I'm not buying the hit clip, I'm just buying you the album. And I was a little annoyed in the moment, but it turned out to be one of the better gifts I also got back in the day, because I love NSYNC, specifically the No Strings Attached album. And I might not have ever had that experience had I not picked up a hit clip and had been told, no, I'm not spending a ridiculous amount of money on a fraction of a song.
Right. When we were kids, we didn't realize how stupid hit clips were, though. Like, looking back now, I'm like, oh my God, that's so fucking dumb. But, like, when you're there at the time, everybody else is getting them.
As hell.
Yeah, man. It's like a Gigapet, but it plays music instead. And it's like, it's the next thing. It's the thing above a Gigapet. Like, you're getting a little more mature. Here's an NSYNC little fucking clip that you put in here, and you can listen to 5 seconds of the song on the bus over and over again.
So yeah, between Stretch Screamers, an NSYNC album, a Predator gun, and a Chunky Boy, those are some of our favorite gifts from when we were kids.
Come any closer, we'll use you for target practice.
I don't think so. This is the Ultimator. The most powerful in the world. Ultimate size. Ultimate distance. 70 feet.
All right, so that was our happy birthday episode. What are we even calling this? This is this is Derek's birthday party episode.
This is Derek's episode, and you're all living in my world, so deal with it.
This is we'll go the Friends route and say that this is the one where it's Derek's birthday.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So whatever the fuck this was it, and it's been kind of a fun time reminiscing about McDonald's birthday parties, Gary Busey guns, and hit clips, all the good fun stuff that we got to experience as kids, and we hope that you had a lot of fun listening too.
I'm sure you did. It was a great, fun episode, but we were just talking about this offline. Boy, that Halloween season really wiped us out.
Yep.
So we needed a good, easy one that we could just kind of coast through,
Absolutely.
Just a little coasting.
Absolutely. And as much as I love diving into the next holiday, this was kind of a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed this a lot, and I can easily see doing a part 2 or even part 3 of this one if the demand is there. So
yeah, well, I mean, we have birthdays every year, so maybe we do one for your birthday.
Yeah, every year. Yeah, we don't skip letting us know in comments and Instagram if we're posting these things. Like them motherfuckers up and post some comments. We love comments. We love interacting with you on social media. Speaking of which, join the Leftover Pizza Club over on Facebook. We're constantly there. We got a chat going about the holidays right now, and believe it or not, it's fucking bumping over there. We're talking about pilgrim food, killing turkeys, all kinds of fun shit.
I'm sure any day now I'm going to be talking about holiday wish books and catalogs over there. That's on the horizon. We got to start thinking forward. Got to start talking Black Friday. Speaking of Black Friday, we have been putting a couple little things up over on the website in our new store. We've been dropping a couple t-shirts here and there, so check that out. It's the store on leftoverpizzaclub.com, but that's also where we post all of our episodes and our articles, and you can catch us over on Twitter, which I don't know how long that's going to last. It seems like after Elon Musk bought it, that's going down in flames, baby. But yeah, you can check us out there if you want. Leftover Pizza Club, LFT. I don't know. Fucking look it up. It's on the website. And Leftover Pizza Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. Believe it or not, we have a TikTok too. But
we up in
like
there.
Grimy said, if you like us, subscribe, because I see a few of you listening and you don't even subscribe. How are you going to know when we have new episodes out? And if you are subscribed, if you haven't rated us, why? Please.
It really helps. We've only got like 15 rates on, I think, Spotify, or maybe it was Apple Podcast. I can't remember, but man, we see people listening. We see the amount. Help us out. Help a brother out.
Yeah, all you gotta do is click those stars and just tap the stars. Tap the stars.
Yeah, make sure it's the one with all 5.
Yeah, all 5. Yeah. Anything less, you're dead to me.
You don't even have to comment.
For my birthday, 5 stars. Come on.
Perfect. Yeah, reel them right in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sucker them in. Well, I think with that was our birthday show. I am Derek.
And I am Grimy. And you have just listened to the Leftover Pizza Podcast. And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, buddy. Don't play that fucking Beatles song.
Today's
Don't play
your
that.
Birthday.
Don't do it.
We're not gonna have a good time. Fuck the Beatles.
It's a birthday rap. Having fun on your special day. Fun with your friends, fun with your family. If you keep them separate, keep the party happening. Don't think about your birthday's that's weird. I'm pretty sure my parents have never had said it's a birthday rap. It's a birthday rap. Birthday rap. It's a birthday rap. Having fun on your special day. Blow out the candles, now make a wish. I want the ghost woman with the dolphins and the fish. I want someone to cook my favorite dish. I want a brand new beer, make the fancy new clips. I wanna play music on a compact disc. I want my baseball